The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker is being filled officially. There has just been a new story known as Star Wars Legacy, which is not merely filling in the gaps, but rather a direct intervention aiming to repair the most broken storylines of the sequel trilogy. We will deconstruct why this is not only a book, but a possible blueprint of the next big Star Wars game, why a legendary gaming destination has become canon in the sequel era, and why Rey and Leia have an interpersonal relationship that will possibly change the gameplay of the Force user forever. Then we had better have the bare facts on the table. During the New York Comic Con, Lucasfilm revealed Star Wars Legacy, a new canon novel that will be released on 28th July 2026. It is not a post-Rise of Skywalker story, but the crucial, untapped gap between the two previous films. The official information proves three major things. The first is that the story focuses on Leia Organa as she tries to train an exhausted Rey following the massive losses at Crate. Things are shattered, the lightsaber of Rey is broken, and she is absolutely alone, losing her real master. Second, the issue of self-doubt in Leia is the main conflict. The official blurb poses a question whether Leia could transfer the torch, because even she is not certain how to do so. Her small amount of knowledge about Jedi and ghosts of her past, namely her son, Kylo Ren, will be addressed in this story. And third, it will be extending the map. We are actually proceeding to a forgotten Jedi temple on the world Tython, a term that is likely to arouse chills in any longtime Star Wars player. Okay, so it's a book. So why are we, as gamers, making this a bombshell reveal as an announcement of a AAA game? This is the new playbook of Lucasfilm. They no longer resort to novels and comics to add flavor to them. They now use them to do specific narrative surgery on their movie universe. And these fixed-up storylines are the rich soil of the new generation games. The biggest surgical procedure till now is Star Wars Legacy. Let's connect the dots. The Rise of Skywalker received the largest criticism of the sudden time jump. The resistance has become significantly larger. Rey is significantly more powerful, and her training with Leia is only mentioned in one passing line. It felt unearned. This book is a direct response to such criticism. It is not merely a narration of a story. It is retroactively establishing the background, which the film did not succeed in gaining. This is gold to a prospective game developer. There is no longer a need to create a narrative to explain the strength level that Rey holds. Now, a canonized and detailed story of struggle and development can be adapted. It is the origin story of the Rey we know of in Episode 9, and it is written in the exact structure of a first act of a video game. Consider the player effect in this case. The assumption is, in game design, document form. You possess a protagonist, Rey, but one who is not beginning at the bottom, but a broken one. Her lightsaber is ruined, a flawless in-game tool that would be used on crafting, an upgrade questline, where the player must acquire components to assemble their own iconic weapon, just as Cal Kestis did. She is strong, but overwhelmed, which might result in an interesting gameplay system in which her force power is initially uncontrollable, strong, but unstable, and the player has to go through training missions with Leia to balance and learn how to use them. And let's talk about Leia. This brings her a notch above playing the role of a general giving orders in a command center, as is frequently witnessed in the games we play. In this case, she is an active mentor, though a poor one. Suppose it is a game, but your teacher does not know everything. Quest would not be, go here, do this. They might be, Luke has said in his notes that he had heard of a lost temple. We must seek it out together, since I do not know what we shall seek, but it is all chance has to offer. This makes the player character and the NPC mentor develop a dynamic of mutually discovering each other, thereby making the journey considerably more personal and desperate. But what we most need is one word, Tython. To any person who has not devoted hundreds of hours in the Old Republic MMO, Tython is the original homeworld of the Jedi Order itself. It is a place of virginal, crude force energy, and it is the keystone of some of the finest stories of playing Star Wars. Lucasfilm is doing something intelligent and brilliant by bringing Tython into the sequel era and making him place a lost Jedi temple there. They are forging a physical, difficult connection between the gaming heritage of the Old Republic that they love and their new screen history. This isn't a coincidence. They understand that gamers are very fond of the lore of such titles as Knights of the Old Republic and the Old Republic. Bringing back a prominent place, such as Tython, is another obvious message. The things that you enjoyed as a gamer are important. It leaves the possibility of a future game that will allow us to visit some ancient location to discover old Republic secrets, but this time around through the perspective of a character in the sequel trilogy. Suppose there is a mission on Tython during which Rey finds a Satele Shan, or even a Revan holocron. The story and fan service possibilities are far beyond the scale. It would be a tactic to bring together a divided fan base by making the history players invested years by legitimizing. What then does it mean in the future? It is more than a single tale. Star Wars Legacy is like a trial case. Lucasfilm is seeing how well the audience would like to explore the characters of the sequel era further. In the event that this book is a colossal success, it will give a one clear sign of idea and a full outline of the storyline of a video game. A developer such as Respawn would not need to develop it all over again. They would possess the places, the character lines, the main driving conflict, all would be outlined and made canonized. It risks away the project itself. What we are currently witnessing is the trend where gaming is now acting as the key vehicle to actually explore the Star Wars galaxy, with the films serving as the tentpole moments. It is the heavy lifting of world building that is carried out by games such as Jedi Survivor. This novel is presetting the sequel trilogy to get the same heavy, interactive treatment. It is a planned way to put the past behind and create a future that is playable. It is not a book per se, but it is pre-production on a game that we are yet to see. It's a fascinating strategy. They are filling the narrative gaps in the movies with a novel because they want to have more robust background in subsequent narratives, particularly in gaming. That leads to the great question. Since Legacy will establish more of the training of Rey and the plight of the Resistance, will a game about this plot finally make the sequel era worth playing in the fans? Or is it too late to salvage the narrative disaster that the films have caused? What do you think? You can comment below. In case you like this type of in-depth analysis that links the dots throughout the entire world of Star Wars, you can subscribe to get more of them.